evil comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, good afternoon. I did get up at like 8 o'clock this morning. It screwed up my finger and I can't do a lot of stuff. All right, let me do my sharing here. We'll get started. I'll put my splint back on. Share my story from this morning. That's where I got this. Hey, buddy. What do you want? You got food and everything else, so you must just want love. Yeah, you just want to say hi to your daddy because you love your daddy. Yeah, sure. I know you hear me yell at my cats and all this other stuff, but I spoil the fuck out of them. I'll get to you, dude. I'm still sharing. All right, now you're on. All right, I was still sharing.
Ingrid.
Dude, I can't do this. Okay, I love you, but go find something to do. Good morning, Ingrid, or good afternoon, Ingrid.
Oh yeah, good afternoon.
Did I share? Yeah, and I do want to let people know that I was up at 8 o'clock this morning. So.
I was not.
Hey, we all need our rest. But my cat, I have a bully cat. And anyway, I had to stop a cat fight. I'll just keep a long story short on that. And it was a situation where I had to grab this cat or he was going to get bad. And so I grabbed him and it screwed up my hand and now my finger's jammed. So I went to urgent care this morning, like you're supposed to, and they said, I'm sorry, we don't have doctors here today. I'm like, why are you even open?
Right.
Like, we're doing telehealth. I'm like, oh, and then you're just saying people, so I go to another one. Right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, so what? I'll just go to a different one. I go in, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be $300. Well, what happened was we don't have imaging. And I'm like, I don't need imaging, it's sprained finger. And you know how they are, they're gonna want their imaging. It doesn't matter if it's a sprained finger or what.
They want the money.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be transparent with you. I'm like, I don't have insurance. I have, my Medicaid's coming up, but I don't have insurance. She's like, well, it's $300. I said, yeah, I ain't gonna pay you that. I'm not. And some guy comes out and he's like, hey, I've had one of these. He's like, this is what you go do. Da, 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 da. I'm like, thank you for the help. So I went to Walmart, got the stuff I needed, and there we go.
Splint it.
Huh?
Splint it. Put a splint on it.
Yeah, I have a splint on it now, but I can't do anything. I can't type. I can't do anything. But then I go to Walmart, which I hate, and it's a Saturday. And even though Dion's not getting what he wants, he's kind of useless. And I didn't get in a bad mood or anything. I'm just trying to get something done. And so I'm in line because they shut all the self-serve down. So I got to stay in line. And so what? I start talking to this guy behind me who's buying Star Wars stuff. And so I told him I'm making my granddaughters watch Star Wars. And so we were talking about that. But then I was checking out and there was this old lady checking out. You know that it's Saturday and she should be retired and at home and living her fucking life, right? And so I do this with everybody. I talk about this often, but when I go somewhere and I'm at the register and somebody helps me, I thank them literally for helping me that day. I'm like, thank you for being here on a Saturday so I can get what I need. I appreciated that. She's like,
I've done that.
I'm like, I hope you have a great day, young lady. But there were some people an aisle down, and I heard, and I was walking away. I heard them, and they're like, "Wow, that was so neat to see." And now they're going to start doing it, and that's the neat part. Is we can go out and we can be in a bad mood. We can have these things going on, but it doesn't give me the right to be rude to people even giving me bad news. You know, the first place I went, I wanted to argue. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, what is arguing going to do? It's going to solve nothing for this young man. So I told him, I said, okay, because I got to say something. I said, I don't think it was very nice for your employer to put you in that situation. I thought that was rude of them.
Happy Saturday, Michael.
Michael, good to see you. Good to see you. My Saturday, dude. Oh, so I was checking out my stats, and because I've been getting for Dion a shit ton of downloads, right? And yesterday I had 95 downloads, which is a lot for me. And that usually means one person went and like downloaded a bunch so that they could go on a trip and listen to things like that. I have people like that. And I looked at it, and it was 33 different listeners. So that means that they're, and where were we? We are now in, I think it was Bolivia. Where'd it go? Not enough data. All right. But yeah, we're in like Bolivia and all these other places. And it's just kind of neat. So, at least it wasn't poop. You know, at least you could lick it off. Maybe. Oh, that'd be kind of gross. Right?
Drop my earbuds.
And that's what you get for eating yogurt while listening. I'm still waiting on one other person to get here. She better get her ass here. All right. She'll get here. She's a wizard. She'll show up when she wants to. All right. So I'm going to start right after the ninth step promises on page 84. I know Ingrid likes to follow along the book. So, and some other people do too. So, this thought brings us to step 10, which suggests that we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we cleaned up the past. You got it. Now, there's a little off topic, but what they're saying here is that the ninth step is probably going to continue for a lifetime. Sometimes things come up that I didn't remember and that weren't on my 8-step list. And oh, cool, it was right there. That's always nice. Usually I have to dig for the cord so I get a little bit of light, but God help me with a little something. So, yeah. So once you do the ninth step, usually I usually let them go for some low-hanging fruit. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters. I'm like, pick somebody you're close to that's going to kind of understand the first time, you know, because I want to set them up to succeed. Okay. But then we're going to move on to step 10. And you're going to continue doing your inventory while we're doing steps 10, 11, and 12. My ninth step is for life. It's for life. So I have to correct any new mistakes. And if I think of something, which happens quite often, then I've got to take some time and I got to go back, take a little bit of time. Okay, what happened in this situation? Do I owe an amends? I probably should talk to somebody else in the program, a closed mouth friend or something. So, okay. We have entered the world of the spirit. Oh, don't you come on here and leave, you son of a bitches. I'm just kidding. I'm just I'm in a weird mood. A lot of moving parts today. And
Sunny beaches? We going on a trip?
Trip? I don't know where.
He said sunny beaches.
I think I said son of a bitches.
Oh.
Yeah. No, and I just that thing flips around all the time, the numbers, and sometimes I don't like it. We have entered the world of the spirit, and our next function is to grow in an understanding and effectiveness. So my next function is to be even more open-minded, is kind of what I'm getting from that. You know, this is not an overnight matter. It should continue for a lifetime. You know, we don't need to be in a huge rush to go clean up the past. Okay. But we do need to do it. What I would recommend is consistency. Consistency. You know, I was talking to a sponsee a few days ago because I want to talk about consistency, and they were sick, then they moved, and this consumes time. New relationship. I'm like, this all consumes time. So my first question was, have you been hitting your regular meetings? Because I haven't seen you. You know, he's like, yeah, I've been hitting these consistently, covering my see, because we need to do that. I need to be consistent with my program. I pray every morning. Um, I go to a lot of the same groups so that the same people heard me before when I wasn't doing well can now see the progress going on. Um, for me, accountability is probably the biggest thing in the world. Um, I woke up this morning, my kids were here. I didn't think that they came home last night. The first thing I did was like, where are you? And they're like, oh, we got home late and we were gone for soccer practice. Okay. All right. All right. So, and they were probably like, Dad's never worried about. I'm changing, man. I'm changing. Now my kids talk to me. It's the coolest thing. All right. This is not an over matter. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, when, not if, but when, because it's going to happen. Heck, it just happened to me in a meeting. It wasn't a big deal. You know, and I'll kind of describe it. Another person was trying to help somebody out, but they had left the meeting. But they also said an extra name, and that person was still in the meeting. And I assumed and interrupted them and said, I'm like, they left the meeting. He's like, no, Liz is still here. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I apologize that I didn't see that Liz was still here and that I wasn't listening. And there's my 10th step. There you go. Well, why not? Why not be a good example to other people? Because if I do it and then they see it and then they go do it, then we have a ripple effect going on. And AA is the ultimate pay it forward, man. Um, I'm starting to see something about AA and that it's a launching point for a lot of people, and we might need to be a little patient about that. I notice a lot of other people starting at AA because they're not finding their own stuff like OA or NA or these other 12-step groups. They got to go somewhere, you know. Let's be a little more, because we are the grandfather. We're the grandpapa of the 12 steps, man. We are. And I feel like that's a responsibility for me. I don't think that everybody should take that responsibility. But if I have somebody come in and they're floundering and let's say they're overeater, I know plenty of overeaters and I will send you over to them. And I kind of feel like AA is partly that too, which is why we're bringing up patience, tolerance, kindness, and love. Not in a
Will,
no.
will offer you a recovery you can't refuse.
Yeah. Well, when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I am responsible. Now, that was made for the professionals, but for me, that's a responsibility. Okay. If I see somebody else floundering, even if I don't know them, I may do something. In fact, it happened. I was walking out of the first, actually, it was the second place where I got some help. And there was this couple kind of arguing. And they weren't arguing. They, do you want me to go in with you? Do you want to go? I noticed on the back, it said something about God, right? And I was walking by. I'm like, man, I love the sign in the back of your van there. They're like, yeah, it's cool. Huh? I'm like, yeah, God is good, isn't he? God's just awesome, man. I hope you have a great day. Arguing stopped. It stopped because they were like, oh, that's right, God. Oh, that's right. See, other people go through stuff too. Maybe we say a little something to remind them that, you know, now I can say that. Why? Because they put God on the back of their freaking car. So then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. Hi, Amber. You made 15 minutes. Yeah. Don't do that too much. I will turn off your camera. I'm in a weird mood. Things are a little crazy, so I'm just trying to stay happy and now I need my phone and Instagram sucks ass. So see you, Instagram. I'm not even going to share that. So bye. Um, AA Big Book, Patience, Tolerance, Kindliness, and Love. Does anybody know what page that's on? Patience, Tolerance, Kindliness, and Love. It's in there. And it's not page 83. That's what I just read.
If I had my reference book with me up here, I'd be able to tell you, but I don't, and it's downstairs, and
Maybe
that'd make me walk.
maybe 164 and more. Oh, but it only does one word, and it's doing love.
Hold on.
I just saw it too, and then of course I went back because I'm impatient. All right, well we don't really need it. I just like having that. Oh, he's gonna go grab it for us. So in the meantime, what we will do. Oh, I don't know if everybody saw my announcement yesterday, but my daughter and I are starting a new podcast series. It is. Is it about recovery? No, nah. I'm not even sure what it's about yet. But what we were going to do is she was going to help me start on some TikTok stuff, right? And then we're fine. You know, I'm like, in order to do that, honey, we need to make 10,000 videos a month. And she's like, what? I'm like, do you know how to do that? Because I don't know how to do that. So I said, you know, you and I talk great, and we've gone through a lot of things that a lot of other people are going through out there. Like, you know, at one point she had to get the fuck away from me. I'll just put it that way, right? Because we know what we mean, and it's not, you know, and she needs some time. But she came back, and we did some hard things, and so not sure what to call it yet, but we have great discussions. And my daughter is a lot like me. Um, Actually, she's more like Amber than me. She is also a Virgo. Did you find it yet?
Yeah, tolerance is mentioned in page 19, 67, 70, and 84.
Okay, let's try it. It wasn't 84. It wasn't 83 either. I looked.
19.
Is this one of those things where I'm thinking of it like Sinbad, bottom of first paragraph on 83? Okay, I'm going to trust you.
No, you're trusting a publication, not me.
No, I'm trusting Amber.
Oh. Oh, 83. The tolerance,
There
the
it
word
is.
tolerance.
Yep, she found it. Thank you. I'll go to a paragraph before it. It's on the first paragraph on page 83 at the very bottom of the paragraph. Thank you, Amber. That's why I went with her instead of the book, because Amber hasn't realized it yet, but she has become a big book thumper. We can't see that, brother. It looks like it's backwards and
It doesn't mention 83. It says 84. I might have to throw this book away. Go ahead and read.
all right. The alcoholic is like a tornado roaring his way through the lives of others. Hearts are broken. Sweet relationships are dead. Affections have been uprooted. Selfish and inconsiderate habits have kept the home in turmoil. We feel a man is unthinking when he says that sobriety is enough. He is like the farmer who came out of the cyclone cellar to find his home in ruin. To his wife, he remarked, "Don't say anything the matter here, Ma. Ain't it grand? Though, ain't
The
it
wind
great?
stopped
The wind
blowing.
stopped blowing." You know, you used up your shitty dictionary. Oh. Yeah, yeah, we have this this alcohol. It still comes in handy though, like that. It helped, you know. But we call it our shitty dictionary because it's misspelled on the front, and it's kind of funny. But we use it all the time, but we make fun of it. Yes, there.
I was just going to tell Amber to put a picture of that book, that shitty dictionary and grassroots.
Mine's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. The big
Yeah.
picture.
What did you just tell me?
Oh,
You can't see shit.
I know, but mine isn't backwards. Anonymous is spelled with two N's.
Why is mine
Um,
show backwards?
got it. She got it from the recoveryshop.com is where she got it if you need it. But I will try and do that for you also if Amber can't get to it. All right. Yes, there is a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. A remorseful mumbling that we are sorry won't fill the bill at all. We ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as we now see it, being very careful not to criticize them. Um, their defects may be glaring, but the chances are that our own actions are partly responsible. No, that's not chances. That's 100% true. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning meditation what our Creator could show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. Now, I'd like to take that paragraph and instead of the family, let's include everybody. Okay. Um, let's talk about newcomers, right? How do you know if a newcomer is lying? Their mouth is moving. We know they're lying. We know they're full of it. They're like, yeah, I only had 3 drinks. We know we're only getting, I'm sweeping gallons off and right. See, I'm sweeping off gallons of animal hair, right? Meow, but I'm post a picture. So, all right. Um, so we know that the newcomer is probably full of it because I know when I got here, I didn't know how to be honest, and everything coming out of my mouth was just whiny. And I might use some of my I call it treatment talk. I call it, and you can hear it because they'll say things like relapse prevention. That's not words we use in AA, and they'll kind of sometimes have a little bit of treatment speak around them, which is great. Treatment does work. I'm not against treatment at all, but yet they're still full of it, right? Because they don't quite get it. So what do we do? Because sometimes that irritates the hell out of me. Patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. The line that tends to go through my mind is, but for the grace of God go I. So when I see a man stumbling down the street and my mind is like, well, dude, what the hell is he doing with Dion, but for the grace of God. And if it wasn't for God and that grace, that would be me. You know, it is hard for me to see people on the streets and going through things because I know how it feels. And just because I've been relieved of it doesn't mean that the problem has been solved. Now I get to go give it away. Now I can teach others and be an example on how to do that. And I'm not always, yeah, no, you go take a nap, Ingrid. You go take a nap. Love you,
Night
honey.
night.
Yeah.
I think I use, but for the grace of God go I in that instance as well. It gives me perspective, but also it applies when I'm getting up on my high horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm all that in a bag of chips sometimes.
You're absolutely right. It's humility. It's about humility.
Yeah.
Understanding that I'm just, I'm
Well,
just another dude in Northland trying to help people. I'm nothing beyond that.
in one instance, it's about gratitude, and the other is it's about humility.
Yeah, absolutely. And those things combine, those two very much go together, you know. Now, because people are like, well, wait a minute, Dion, you're not grateful. I'm grateful. Am I grateful that that's not me? No, that's not what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm not doing that anymore. I can be a better example even for that person. That's what I'm grateful for. Absolutely. That I'll never be great. because otherwise, and that's why we're saying humility. Because if I'm grateful that that person's drunk and it's not me, that's not humility. That's pride in my book. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I'm one that sees pride a little bit differently, but that's fine.
No?
Yeah,
Well, it's
because
and it's all experience. Where
it's just how I see it. I don't think for me pride is self-esteem. And if we work this program, then I can be proud of who I'm becoming.
Okay. So what you're saying is, Dion, just like consequences, pride isn't always a bad thing.
Correct.
And so I'm just using it as a bad thing. See?
Well, it's like I always say, the difference between pride and ego. Pride is how I feel about myself, self-esteem. Ego is how I want you to feel about me.
Okay. So if I'm going to say it right, if I'm going to say it correctly and other people will understand me better, maybe I should take how I'm talking about pride and change it to ego. Do you think that
Depending on depending on the scenario, I think, because the
okay.
book talks about pride as a negative thing
Yeah,
sometimes.
leading the procession is what they call
Right, exactly. And I just my own perspective of that, because of who I was and where I came from, there was nothing prideful about that. That's
it. Yeah,
stuff that I had no redeeming qualities,
there we go.
and
Where
trying to change that where I can be a better person so that I can be of service to others. I
yeah,
think it's okay to be prideful of that.
yeah. So
Makes me feel good.
yeah, like let's say I go help somebody, right? Like and I'm not going to name
Whatever it
it,
is.
but I help somebody. If I go talk about it on Facebook, that's pride. If I say good job, Dion, and leave it at that, then I'm proud.
Yeah. Check
Okay.
me out. Look what I did.
Yeah. See how I can jump. Because yeah. And that's because when you said self-esteem, then I was able to connect it. That's when my brain was like, oh, okay. That follows that procession then. So pride is going to be situational. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're again just utilizing the right thing for the right situation. These are all what we call these spiritual tools. So
Pride needs to be tempered, so it doesn't become ego.
there we go. Yeah, there we go. I could fucking fly with that one. Yeah, because I do it. I love humility. I do. It keeps my between accountability and humility. It keeps my ass in line most of the time. You got more on
I
that?
Yeah, just in as much as what was my train of thought? Humility. I did when somebody would say thank you so much for whatever, I would always try to minimize that
Yeah.
instead of just saying you're welcome.
There you go. Yeah.
So I had to learn to grow that concept. It was like, because I was what's that word when you bash yourself all the time? It's something to the
Self-abuse.
nature of
Yeah.
self-loathing,
Yeah. There
loathing.
we go. Loathing. Yeah.
Um, so I would minimize that because in my brain it's like I'm not worthy of
Mm.
that compliment,
Yep.
and that has evolved,
Yeah.
you know. And I
Well,
don't have to
yeah.
minimize that. I can say you're welcome or thank you.
Yeah. Now I'm going to give a different situation. Oh, and I want to do this too. Yes, Amber, that is the one that goes with it. Absolutely. When your self-esteem goes up, that uselessness feeling goes away. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly, Amber.
Yeah. Um, now I was in a meeting and the person chairing said, Dion, you can double dip. Okay. Now I didn't like that. I did not like that because in my brain, number one, we don't get to double dip in that meeting, right? Two, I'm nothing special. That means everybody gets to double dip,
I caught
right?
that.
That and everybody in that room better have a chance to speak first. And so I followed those 3 rules. I even texted Amber. I'm like, I'm not special. She's like, yeah, you're a wizard, but so so that's also the difference there. And I could have taken it. Oh, no, I'm not. I appreciate the compliment, though. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that you think
There
of it
you go.
that way.
There you
Absolutely.
go. I
Yeah.
appreciate that
And
you
how we can
you
win
respect
that.
me enough to say that to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
But
appreciate
I'm not taking that horse and going for a ride.
Nah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
I already hang out with the 4 hideous horsemen. I don't need any more
you know,
horses.
we're a bunch of drunks that have certain talents that we can use. Yours is this.
John, that wasn't on you, man. That wasn't on you. Don't worry. No. I didn't know you were here, Johnny. Hi, Johnny. Stole for Johnny, man. I always got to say that. I'm an outsider. I grew up on the outsiders. No, not your bad, dude. I get people excited about this program. I love this program so much that I don't know what it is. I just exude, let's do this. Let's happy. On the other hand, if you don't want to get anywhere in life, I will frustrate the fuck out of you. So, but what we're saying on what we were saying on that, John, is we're taking a compliment and putting humility in with it so we can take it for what it is what we're getting to. And the only way we can get there is by using examples. Okay. And that is why I did not say your name. Right. So we got to stay anonymous. So, but I'm glad you're here, dude. And make sure you jump on those grassroots meetings. I don't want to brag, but yeah, I gotta say Thursday. Not only was the Bronco game on, but the fact that I was able to hand over the meeting, it was the greatest fucking joy. I've been working really hard to let go of that meeting because I don't want to control it. Because I know that when there's control, and now it's just turned into this. It's turned into this God thing, and it's
That was a
beautiful.
good meeting.
Was it? I'm
Yes, it
sorry I
was.
missed it. But it was just neat. Yeah, we have one today. Um, I know where you're at, so it'll be 4 p.m. your time. If you're not in the WhatsApp thing, so we use WhatsApp as our base of operations. Daryl said that one day. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what it is. So I stole it. So if you're not in that, let me know. But send me a message after we're done here and let me know, and I can just send you the link. So, but it's 4 o'clock your time, so a couple hours. Okay. Or Amber's got it taken care of. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. The grassroots meeting is we're just a bunch of drunks and we're old school, man. We're big book thumpers. We stick to but
Code.
I appreciated you bringing up the other day. Describe how we do topics in that meeting, Daryl, because I like the way you describe it.
Put me on the spot here. What do you mean? Oh, you
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
we try to settle in on a topic per se. It might be from the reading, might be from daily reflections. But if you got something that's bugging you, and the example that I used is if the neighbor's dog just shit in your yard and it bugs you enough to the point where you might take a drink about it, get upset you, we're going to discuss it. And you need to bring it up. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hi, Gary. Good to see you, man.
Hi, Gary.
Now, Daryl, you haven't met Gary.
I haven't met. He friended me on Facebook, and we do
you two have
talk.
met. Actually, no, you two have met. When you
When?
spoke at the church, you met Gary.
Oh, yes, that is correct. You are right.
Yeah.
I don't know who John McIntyre or John M is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So we all know
But
each other.
nice to meet you.
Yeah. Gary's a very big supporter. He's in a different 12-step program. It's not for me to say. but he's always been a big supporter of trudging together. In fact, Gary led me to the church where we were able to have that meeting and stuff. So thank you, Gary, for helping us out with that. Now we're meeting online and things like that. But it turned out, yeah, that was a great night. We can go back and use the church, by the way. They still love us, and Al-Anon's going. And I've got another church that kind of wants to do some now, Northland Church, you know. So yeah, we might be having some things coming up because pretty soon here we're going to be getting into fundraising for the Hayworth House. And we're going to have to start doing some fundraising. I thought what would be really neat, because I do have everything kind of set up through Etsy, and if somebody could teach me how to sell bumper stickers online. I've got everything else set up, but it just confuses me. If you've been through that process, then we can start selling the bumper stickers.
I can do that.
Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I was the internet director for a car dealership for 9 years.
Yeah, because bumper stickers are making a comeback. So thank you. Yeah, Gary's in OA. You know, but like I was saying earlier, remember I said sometimes people land in AA but find their own way. That kind of happened with Gary because I didn't, you know, and he would come to AA meetings with me, and I would ask, and some people got mad. I'm like, he ain't speaking, so don't worry about it. Right? But he had to go somewhere. You know, I'm not going to leave some person out there plowing around. Now, Gary, why don't you put in chat what you do and how long you've been doing it? And now he speaks at OA meetings. He's got his own Facebook going. Okay. Is AA responsible for that? You bet your ass it is. Yes, I am.
Is
yes,
it 12th step?
Yeah, because Gary's part of we. Maybe not in the same meetings, but
I'm unfamiliar with OA.
It's a tough program, man. I'm actually, with what they go through, I'm grateful to be an alcoholic because I don't have to drink to survive, but I do need to eat. You know, so their accountability is a cup of this, a quarter of this. You know, I was actually just talking to somebody at the end of the meeting, and they were dual. So, but
it's called Overeaters Anonymous.
Yes,
but that also includes the opposite side of that.
Oh yeah, anorexia and bulimia. They also work with. Absolutely. You know, just like alcoholics, we work with sober curious people. You're sober curious? Come on in, man. That's fine. It's going to be an open meeting. So we gather in our rooms, right? And we feel safe there, and it's good and things like that. Now, are you the same person when you leave that room? You know, because for a long time in the program, I wasn't, because I felt safe there and I was able to enjoy. Then I have to go back out into that scary world. But once I got through the steps and could kind of make that shift to where when I left the meeting, I still felt safe, because that's big for me, having safe spaces. And then I found out who keeps me safe. God. It's God. And if I put all my trust into him, he does. He keeps me safe. You know, he's done things like kept me away from things that I was like, no, I want to go. I want to be a part of it. I want to do this. And he kept me away. And then I found out why. He's like, well, yeah, Dion, unless you want this consequence. And I know you don't. And I think it's neat that my higher power knows my intentions and supplies me with exactly that. I think it's the neatest thing in the world, man. So, all right, that's what I got today. You got any more words? Daryl's talking with the wife. So,
yes, I was. Sorry.
Hey, I kissed my wife goodbye.
I was just telling. I was just telling Ash what you said about my smartwatch. Yeah, it thinks you're so dumb. It actually shows you the time twice.
Yeah. You know what I thought the other day is I'm actually going to put a clock in my house so that my grandkids know how to tell time with a clock. Yeah, I was talking with my daughter yesterday. I'm like, you can't read this, huh? Because it's in cursive. She's like, no. I'm like, man. I'm like, there's a lot of documents you're never going to be able to read. They stopped teaching. Yeah, I know. My daughter's, close to 30. But
When did they stop teaching cursive?
I don't know. I don't know. You also don't it is not also sitting down Indian style like we used to. Now it's crisscross applesauce. So yeah.
I don't get it.
Me
I have
either.
no. Why did they stop teaching cursive? Who knows?
Control, appeasement, you know, making life, us humans, we create things to make our lives more convenient. That's what we do. That's
I
what
think
we
that
do. And if you get rid of that convenience, you're gonna find that your life's actually much better when you're free.
pretty sure the isn't the Declaration of Independence written in cursive?
It sure is. Yeah. We can find out. Let's find out. I know it's on topic, but this
It's
is why
not
we
on topic. It's just this
when did they
this
stop teaching
that,
cursive? 2010. In 2010, the newly formed Common Core of Standard for English Initiate did not
Common
include
Core.
cursive handwriting instruction. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Gary. I was kind of waiting on that before I God, Amber, you're like me. You're a well of useless knowledge, right? And they don't
Oh,
say regret either.
I'm full of trivial bullshit that
Yeah.
will do nobody any
All
good.
we alcoholics are, we never be able to sit around and not bullshit. I'm full-time customer service rep at Behavioral Tech, very active in my church, free time speaking and running my Facebook through Trudging Together. Yeah. Yeah, Trudging Together actually does more than we actually do more stuff than I even bring up. No, why not? Why not support people and help them? If they're supporting me, I'm going to probably do what I can to support you. It has nothing to do with alcoholism. It has to do with the fact that I run and gunned and I destroyed things, and that's how I feel. And if God puts something in my path and He's saying, Dion, I've given you the skills to take care of this. Can you please handle it for me? Just like when I asked my son, hey, can you take out the trash? Well, I'm just using that as an example. He does it. So, all right. I think that's good. 43 minutes. Yeah. And you're frozen, so I think your camera.
No, I'm
Oh,
not
no, you're going.
frozen. I'm just sitting
Wait.
here quietly.
So, and your brothers they're not that much younger than you are, though. So, thank you, Gary. Yeah. A lot of people start their recovery through us. I'm the kind of person that if you come to me with something, I know where to send you. I have a shit fucking ton of resource. Like, so okay, I'm gonna end up having this birthday party for 3 of my grandkids at once. I was talking about with my kids this morning because I couldn't go to today's one because I had to go do all this crap. And they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it over here," but it was kind of expensive and stuff like this. And I said, "Well, you understand that I'm your dad, and I'll go get this shit for free." Oh well, I'll go make some contacts or get it cheaper because I do a lot of work in the community and people are willing to discount things for me because I do a lot of work. You know, I'm on the Adams County Coalition. Help I help hire people at Adams County behavioral health techs and shit. I don't talk about any of that. I do that stuff too. Um, so there's a lot of things that we can do, but for me, it's just because God has given me so fucking much and has made my life so great that I'm addicted to helping other people and watching them grow. But it's a great addiction. So, got anything else you want to say today, Daryl?
No, man, it's kind of like that meme I put up in the what you call it. I can't brain today. I got the dumb, so I'm just trudging through it.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here.
Good to see
I may be
everybody.
back, I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, and all of that. This is acting weird too. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see several of you at the grassroots meeting. And Gary, I would have been more than happy to invite you to that one, but it's a closed meeting. So, or I would have invited you. I would have invited my wife and Pastor Marcia. Oh, that is one thing that I want to do at some point. Is I'd like our grassroots people to meet Pastor Marcia. She's very much Al-Anon, and it's even on it. People are saying no, AA can't work with Alateen. You watch me. You watch me. No, I'm not going to make AAers take out of Alateen. But what I'm going to do is go to Al-Anon meetings and start putting my foot up people's butts.
We could just. There's no reason that we couldn't go Zoom and not have it be a meeting. We could just have a get together.
Yeah, we call it young people chat or something.
Or
but we gotta be careful because if you
that would exclude me.
That's right. All right. Well, we will see everybody shortly. We got 5 people on right now, and we're just growing. We're not growing by leaps and bounds, but everything is growing. Now we got 6 people. So yeah. Let's do the daily reflection then. Let's do today's daily reflection. I don't want people to show up and not get anything from this. So, all right. AA's main taproot, the principle that we shall find no enduring strength until we first admit complete defeat, is the main taproot from which our whole society is sprung. 12 steps and 12 traditions, 21 and 22. With complete defeat. All right, defeated and knowing it, I arrived at the doors of AA alone and afraid and of the unknown. A power outside of myself had picked me up off my bed, guided me to the phone book, then to the bus stop, and through the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous. Once inside AA, I experienced a sense of being loved and accepted, something I had not felt since early childhood. May I never lose the sense of wonder I experienced on that first meeting with AA, the greatest event of my entire life. And I had that, but it wasn't my first AA meeting because I didn't remember. Because I know it. So, but I do remember that first experience in AA where I finally felt like I belonged. And knowing that I belonged somewhere was probably the biggest relief for me so that I could do the program. Because even though I had been taught at a young age what alcoholism was, man, I don't know why or how, but it separates us. It separates us so far that you can't fucking see the other side, man. And that first step is just. What are you getting ready to say, man?
No, I was just reflecting back to my first meeting. Okay. I mean, the meeting itself, I'd rather chaired it, but that's another thing. But they were talking Japanese to me, man. I didn't get a lot from that meeting. What I got was that fucking hug, and I came back because of that fucking hug.
There was something there that had you come back.
Yep.
And that's what AA does. See, it doesn't matter what it is that's going to bring you back, because now your intention is to get sober, you're taking action, and God's going to do something.
I never had those experiences before.
He's going to make you feel safe. He's going to do these things to have you come back.
They told me, come back, welcome. They told me all kinds of shit. I don't know how many hugs I ended up getting that day, but it was that very first one.
It's just like my cats. I call it forced love. The thing is, we think we don't want a hug, but we fucking do, especially when you're a man. Oh, don't be hugging me. I'm a man.
That's my experience. That's my story. That's the one that I tell. It's like I didn't think I needed anybody, didn't want anybody. And what I was looking for was human companionship.
Yeah, some kindness.
And that hug gave me that.
Yeah. And that could even say patience, tolerance, kindliness, love, and understanding. I
You know,
mean,
I was still finding those sordid places,
yeah.
you know,
We were
looking for that companionship, understanding, and approval. And I
yeah,
fucking found it in AA.
yeah. But that's why I call AA home. I tell
Yes.
people welcome home all the time because I've never had a home.
Won't sit
By
up there.
home, I don't mean the roof over my head. You guys know what I'm talking about. It means I never belonged anywhere. I belong with the jocks, and belong with the stoners, and belong with the freaks, or whatever these are. And it's like even out of all these 10 different types of whatever, I was known, or I was all of them, you know. Um, so all right. Well, we got it from 6 to 2. In other words, there were 6 people. Now there's 2. So now we can.
Time to go.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate
Love
it.
you, brother. Love you guys.
Love you too. We'll see you in
Be
about
well.
5. Peace out.
Peace.
Day. I gotta say that. It's my tagline. Have a day. Nobody ever questions me on it, but there's a reason behind it. So nobody's ever asked. All right.
Story for another day.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Because I really gotta pee. Love ya. Peace out. That's how I always end these.